Hi there, it's Jo from Minerva. Today we're going to show you a little hand sewing technique for making loops on the side of dresses. Sometimes, even if a dress doesn't have a tie on the pattern, you can make a tie and add it on, but of course you need to make sure that the tie doesn't move up or down or past the waistline, especially if it's got a seam. You can make a little thread bar, and it's 2 loops of thread, and you cover the thread with little hand stitches, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. We're going to make a belt loop here, a handmade belt loop, and I'm using a pearl 8 thread, which is a cotton thread that's thicker than normal sewing thread, so you'll be able to make a belt loop and make quite a bit of progress quite quickly. It helps if you run your thread through some beeswax, which I've done before I've threaded it, because that stops the ply of the thread really twisting and stopping you from continuing your work. So here's the side seam coming down here, and this is the side seam of the skirt, and so I'm going to take my thread from the inside so that the knot is on the inside. And the first thing I'm going to do is make 2 loops. So I'm going to decide how big my loop is going to be. So from here to here, make a loop, and then I would like that loop to be double. So I'm going to go back where I started. So now I have a double loop. I want my needle and thread to be on the front of this loop, and I'm going to keep the tail end out of the way, and I'm going to go through the loops and bring the tail thread behind my sewing thread. I'm going to keep the thread on the left, go through the loops and keep the thread behind the needle, and then make that little stitch sit next door to the next one. Thread to the left, through the loop, keep the thread behind the needle, and gently pull up the next stitch. Don't pull it too tight or it'll twist all the way around. Thread to the left, through the loop, and then join them all together. And you can see I'm starting to fill in the loop that I made. And when you get to your last few, you finish them off. You can flatten them all out and roll them all the same way, and then take your thread back through to the inside and tie that off.
And that's how you make a thread loop.
It's quite a useful technique because it means that they're quite invisible if you don't use them, so they're not really obvious, like if you put belt loops on a dress and then sometimes you wore it with the belt and sometimes you didn't. They are just really quite inconspicuous at the sides of your dresses and tops. Thank you for watching today. Do in the meantime head over to Minerva and take a look at our products and promotions. Also take a look at what our Minerva makers have been doing for some pattern and fabric inspiration. See you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.